Patrick Tucker joins us. He's the editor of Defense One. He is standing by live for us in Washington, D.C. Patrick, great to have you back. What correlation right now is being made to that multi-million-dollar arms sale and the murder of Jamal Khashoggi?
Well, it's a multi-billion-dollar arms sale. It's $8.1 billion of military equipment that the Trump administration in 2019 issuing an emergency declaration allowing U.S. arms makers to sell to Saudi Arabia. And they include a lot of very high-tech pieces of weaponry, including F-15 fighter jets, laser-guided missiles, and, of course, a big contract with Raytheon to develop highly complex bombs in Saudi Arabia, so sort of a first. What this has to do with Jamal Khashoggi is in 2019, Congress, both parties in both houses, outraged by the death of an American permanent resident at the hands of the Saudi regime, worked to block the sale of arms into Saudi Arabia. The White House vetoed that and then issued this emergency declaration. So this is where it becomes a little bit complicated. Inspector Linick, or former Inspector Linick, was looking into whether or not that emergency declaration was appropriate. Because the administration has never produced an actual emergency to justify it. They cited ongoing and fairly consistent tensions with Iran. So this is what these subpoenas are about. The Foreign Affairs Committee is looking to interview people to see whether or not Inspector Linick was fired with cause, and then if they can figure that out, then you can get to whether or not there was a real emergency to justify this emergency arms sale, or whether that was something that was sort of created in order to justify something that the administration was already going to do over the objection of Congress.
And Patrick, you just touched on it a little bit there. Subpoenas have been issued to those four former aides to appear before joint depositions by House committees. What specifically do you think lawmakers will key in on and want to know?
Well, they'll want to know about Mr. Linick, what he was looking at, and they'll want to know probably a lot about the circumstances that led to the State Department saying that there was an emergency requiring the sale of these arms to Saudi Arabia, because, of course, it was based on State Department recommendation that the White House said that there was an emergency. So they'll be looking to understand how that happened, whether or not Trump people close to the Trump administration in the State Department pushed that through, and how that designation was made, and probably a little bit about what else Mr. Linick was looking at in terms of Secretary of State Pompeo, because there are a few different questions about Mr. Pompeo's wife and what role she's playing in State Department business, and a few other things. So how Mr. Linick operated with the State Department, whether or not his firing was justified, and certainly the circumstances that led to that emergency declaration allowing for that weapons sale to go through.
Patrick Tucker with Defense One. Great to have you back. Appreciate your analysis as always.